Yo, 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 yo.
It's your boy Uche. I got my boy
Deezy.
We are the ill-advised wise guys.
Check out the full podcast, link below.
Yo, 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 yo. We are the ill-advised wise guys. It's your boy Uche. I got my boy
QDeezy for Sheezy is way too easy, aka the Widow's Peak Bandit, aka Mr. Daddy Longlegs, aka Michael Gordon, aka Mr. Steal Your Spaghetti. In person, I get to see your face
we
again.
here, man. We here. How you feeling, brother?
I feel good.
Anyway, this is episode 133.
133.
Shout out to the gang. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the post notification bell, and hit the like button.
Oh, yeah.
And all the other cool stuff.
Right down
Drop
there.
a comment.
Right down there. Point into it.
Right down below. Let's kick this off, man. Before we get into the topics of the show, we got a couple announcements. We have a playlist called Zero Skips. It features a lot of talent from up-and-coming artists that this guy Q and I really, really love. So there might be some artists that you've never heard of, but really the music on there reflects our taste. Stream the playlist on Spotify right now in the description. Also, make sure to follow us on social media.
ratingsgamemusic.com. You can check me out on Instagram.
Anyway, yeah, y'all make sure to get over there, RGM, ratingsgamemusic.com. Let's kick off the show.
Yes, sir. So we got 3 topics for you today. First topic we're going to talk about, actually the second topic we're going to talk about is, what are we talking about? Okay, we're going to talk about ratings game music a little bit, some more.
Okay.
Second topic we're going to talk about is hip hop on a down spiral right now?
Yeah.
Is hip hop no longer the best genre out?
Has it stalled?
Has it stalled is the word that we want to use. And then we're going to talk about people's legacies being tarnished by the things that they've done or people who have elevated their legacies with what they've done recently. But let's start off talking about ratings game music. You know, I always talk about ratings game music to start the podcast. I tell you guys to go on there, best review site in the world. So I wanted to do a bit of a deep dive on what exactly ratings game music is. Me and you've always had a love for music. We talked about that last time we were here. And I think my love for music really started to elevate when I started writing about music. So around 2016, I was a terrible writer, by the way. Dog, like my grammar I was writing at elementary level. You know how they say high school level? And I was a grown man. I was about 25 years old writing at elementary level. You know, I just kept getting better at that
damn
department.
shame, by the way, but
it is.
Keep going.
And so, you know, I was like, yo, my iPod is very organized, right? Like I got everything organized by stars. My favorite songs are all on there.
Yep.
And so I was like, you know what? What if I let people know the process of how I rated a certain song? And so that's where ratings game music really came from.
Yep.
That's where the name comes from.
Yep.
As time went by, you know, we had album reviews. As time went by, we had a certain structure that I think people started to like. And I just kept being consistent with it. And here we are today. It's doing really well. I'm surprised at how many times I see our articles in the top 5 when you do Google searches. Like album reviews.
Yeah.
We've made Google News. We've been referenced. Shout out Dame Dash.
I was just about to throw that in there, man.
Referenced us. Chance the Rapper put us on his video. It's something that's growing. I'm very proud of. Now, there's a lot of stuff I've done on the side I'm not proud of.
What do you mean? Are you committing crimes? Like what?
Now that we got ratings game music out the way.
Okay, let's talk.
Right?
Let's talk.
Here's the mistakes I'm going to tell you I've made. One of the very, very first mistakes I made, I gave Kevin Gates' first album a C. That's
the one with 2 phones? Yeah. I got 2 phones.
I gave it a C. And
hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie, man.
I didn't like it.
I'm not gonna lie. Is 2 phones necessary? You know you can get like Google numbers.
What are you talking about? Right? He explained it. So, you know, there's a couple albums that I would say, you know, I'm admitting to you today, I may have given a bad rating to. Or I may have said was one of the greatest albums I've ever seen in my life. Kevin Gates was one. I think Kevin Gates deserved to be. That first
album was phenomenal.
I thought that Watch the Throne was like a B minus.
Yo, let's cut to the ish. Look. Let's cut to the ish.
Okay, here we go.
I'm about to get my Brian Gumble on. So, are you accepting payola? No, I'm kidding. Look, I want to say this on the record because RGM is a dope brand. I really think it's become like a badge of honor for like these indie artists that like you said, man, you know, we have writers and, you know, writing articles and reviewing music at a high level. Want to give you your flowers.
It's funny because, you know, I say we, because you're a big part. Like, you pretty much have helped carry this thing to like levels that is really high right now. What I want to say is I found a love for indie artists doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also found a love for helping writers reach their dreams. Found a love for like elevating these writers, giving them an opportunity, because we give people that are just fresh out of school opportunities to write about music. I always tell them, be passionate, be honest, be vulnerable, but like, we're not going to do cookie cutter. We're going to do reviews that, you know, you really feel in your heart, like how you feel. It's like you said, a badge of honor. It's not because of me, you know, in terms of what I'm doing. I think it's a badge of honor because how much everybody else has helped make this thing
there you go.
What it is.
Honestly, that's what it's about.
Shout out
That's what it's
Sherry,
about.
shout out Urena.
Yeah, shout out everybody on the team.
Victoria.
Shout out Cameron. You know, for putting in work.
You know.
It's only the start, man.
Yeah.
Yo, it's only the start, man. Yo, I feel like this has been a extended RGM commercial, but this is good.
I love it.
Y'all go to ratingsgamemusic.com and check out some reviews. Honestly, like you might be surprised at some of the music, man. I want to bring up this hip hop combo. Has hip hop stalled? And I asked this question because, you know, we're in 2022 approaching 2023, obviously. I feel like the cream of the crop, I'll call it, of hip hop artists are aging. Most notably, Kendrick, J. Cole, obviously Drake. These have been names that everyone has mentioned for the last 10 years of being the top guys that have held it down. But these guys are in their 30s, mid-30s, damn near at this point.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, we'll have to start ushering in a new generation of talent that will be the next, right? The next GOATs. What I guess I've noticed over the last couple of years is a lot of artists that have tragically passed, extremely talented artists that have passed that could have been at that level to take the mantle and push it forward. I bring up people like XXXTentacion. To me, you can say whatever you want about his personal life. That's not really where I'm at. I'm talking about musically. He had the talent to, in my opinion, really take things to the next level. Juice WRLD is another. I feel like he was at that forefront. Whether or not you like his music, I'm talking about talent. You know, I believe he was one of those guys. I believe Pop Smoke was one of those guys. The list goes on. I mean, we can get into the names, but my point is like, I think there's a void right now of the current popping artists, the younger artists. I'm not sure if there is a long list of artists that we can point to and say, these 5 or these 3 to 5 are going to be the guys for the next 10 years in hip hop. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Is that blasphemous to say? Am I disrespecting current artists by not bringing them up?
You know, there's several layers to it, right? From a music standpoint, there may not be many artists that are moving the needle, but I don't think it's always been about music, right? Like, hip hop has been about culture. Hip hop has been about how many likes you can get on social media. Hip hop has been about clout. I think the clout aspect of hip hop is still there at its highest. But from a skill standpoint, that's the part where, you know, I think it's a little wishy-washy. So you brought up some people. They were highly skilled artists, in my opinion. XXXTentacion, he was a pretty solid rapper, but it was the other things he can do.
Yep.
It was the, you know, rock music he was able to do. It was the content he was able to push out. You mentioned Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD, he probably was the most talented artist while he was alive from a younger standpoint. Juice WRLD can do a pop record, can freestyle for 25 minutes straight.
An hour
straight.
I mean, his talent was off the charts. He was versatile. He was versatile.
He was versatile.
Very versatile.
Very versatile. So you're talking about that. Somebody we didn't mention, Mac Miller. Mac Miller's music aged better than a lot of people's music aged. Because you're hearing a lot of his verses that he had unreleased verses coming out now. And it sounds like some 2022 stuff.
Yeah.
Mac Miller's music has aged really well. And the way that he was able to like morph from a battle rapper type guy.
Oh yeah.
And he morphed into like an R&B.
Bro, jazz. Infusing jazz. You know, like, R&B.
And hitting you with
soul.
those hard raps. So like from a talent standpoint, like there's a lot of, and then Pop Smoke. I thought Pop Smoke was great because like Pop Smoke started out as like a real drill guy. Mm-hmm. But then like right before he passed, unfortunately, he started to get into those other bags and was shining in those other bags.
Not to cut you off, but I always use this word authentic. To me, that's the most important part about an artist and when they display their talent. It's like, anybody can do any genre if they want to. But when they get on these other forms of music, forms of genres, if you will, does it sound authentic? Sounds forced.
And that's, and you know, the first time I realized Pop Smoke was out of here was I heard him on a remix to Her. Chris Brown.
The Slide remix. Yeah, that
and
was
the
good.
way he literally slid on that song,
pun intended.
I was like, this guy is out of here. Going back to the people that we have now, it's funny, we were listening to NBA Youngboy's album that his 6th album of the year that he just put out.
This guy doesn't sleep.
And you mentioned NBA Youngboy, music is easy for him. So I think he's the one. If there's somebody that we can get excited about, it's NBA Youngboy. Because when he's not doing his Grim Reaper stuff, when he's not killing every single thing on site, you know, when he gets to his melodic bag,
he's
when
different.
He's able to like shift gears from hip hop to R&B.
He's different.
I think he's special.
Out of all the accolades that these artists receive on a regular basis, whether it's Billboard, first week sales, all the stuff they report about, right? Most songs charted in top 100, all the stuff that Youngboy, surprisingly, I think to most people's surprise, is like at the top of many of these lists. But I don't think that people know this. Like, what's the disconnect, you think, with NBA Youngboy? The way we just spoke about Youngboy, with respect for his musical ear, his ability to actually put melody in his music, really be vulnerable. You don't really hear people highlighting that aspect of his music. It's only the shenanigans.
It's what the type of Youngboy music people recommend to other people. So if I go to my Instagram feed, if you're going to hear an NBA Youngboy song on IG, more than likely it's his Grim Reaper stuff. His melodic stuff where he gets introspective and vulnerable doesn't get attached to things. So you have to like literally want to press play on his album to hear that type of stuff. You know how baseball has Triple Crown? Mm-hmm. You know, somebody who leads home runs, hits, and runs or whatever.
RBIs?
NBA Youngboy is one of the few young artists, along with Lil Uzi Vert, I would say, where he's a Triple Crown hip hop artist. He sells. He's actually a pretty good artist. And then also, he goes viral. Like, the young kids like him. And that's the formula to me, a complete hip hop artist.
But I will say this, I agree, but I'll bring this full circle, at least with Youngboy. I will say the criticism on him is fair that I hear.
Yes.
Which is like quality versus quantity when it comes to NBA Youngboy. Mm-hmm. Puts out a lot of music. He floods the market, floods the streets. But it's like, how many of these projects that he puts out can people take away and say, man, I was blown away by this project? Even as a Youngboy, I guess, supporter or somebody who enjoys his music, the melodic side, I don't really feel like he has a lot of those. And I think that's one of the things that's probably gonna hold him back. To go back though, I mean, you brought up Youngboy, Uzi. There's some young dudes, Kodak. The Playboy Cardis, the Kodak. I feel like there's another crop of talent right now that's happening. But the question is, can any of them be the guy?
So I was going to bring up the women, man. I mean, I legit think that women rappers, we always say this, women rappers are the hottest right now. Women, like what Glorilla was able to do with like one song, she's super popular. Like she's big, she's huge.
Bruh.
Because I feel like the women rappers are a lot more organic. They're a lot more strategic with how they move. Lotto is one of the first artists in a long time that literally feels like she's strategic with everything she does. Who she adds to her remixes, who she decides to hop, the song she decides to hop on. And I think that's what's missing with the male artists is a lot of them are not strategic. Like NBA Youngboy is not strategic. He just throws out, which I appreciate as a musician or as a music lover. You appreciate that because he's giving you content over and over again. But I feel like he doesn't really have a strategy. Kodak Black don't really got a strategy. He just kind of puts stuff out.
You know who has a strategy? Playboy Cardi.
A strategy when it comes to music or going viral?
Both. The way they rolls out everything. Like it's very strategic. I'm gonna be honest with you. He
trolled us with that whole lot of red. I legit do not believe the record labels did not want to put it out. He was doing that on purpose.
Yeah, we talked about that. A
lot of artists don't. Well, if they do have strategies, it's not clear.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And I think that's the difference between, women artists and male artists.
There's too many talented artists.
I was gonna say
JID. There's a lot of guys, right?
I'm not love that
out of the younger class.
Let's under 30.
JID.
I love JID.
JID to me is, I would say he's up there for me.
Yeah.
To me, like all the stuff that I just said about, man, who's the guy? I think JID talent wise has the it factor to be in the conversation for the next 10 years. Yeah. Just based on his ability to compose music. It's not even about rapping all the time. It's how do you compose music? His ear for production. Yeah, he may be melodic. He may sing on the hook. His albums are really good. He dropped the Never Story this year.
Never Story.
Great project.
Love that album.
I think he's
actually a fantastic album.
I think he's so early in his career, but I think he's one of those guys for me.
So I said Triple Crown earlier. I think the Triple Crown, the third one, so they sell records, they have good skill. I think the third one is get respect from their peers. So JID, he unfortunately, I feel like that album didn't sell like I wanted it to sell. Like, it should have been 100K, but and I don't think it did.
JID,
he's not there yet, but he has the other two.
His Achilles heel is that commercial appeal.
Yeah.
And so actually this year, I don't know if you heard his collab with Imagine Dragon. That was a huge song. Yeah. Probably not one that you're going to associate with JID's discography when you're really thinking about what he does.
Yeah. St. John would be somebody that I'm like, he has it.
St. John is, man, he's a curious case for me.
He has it.
Everybody
loves St. John, but like, I don't know, he has it. I think Uzi is the key to hip hop. Where Uzi can go, Uzi is the guy, the golden child.
I got a question though. Do you think that Uzi has plateaued, or do you think that he can go further?
I think he can go further. Uzi, a lot of the work he's done so far on these albums have been him just, being trendy, doing his own thing. I think there's another level Uzi can go, and that's like orchestration. Orchestrate 96. So he can do orchestration.
Shout out Orchestrate 96.
And somebody who I think phenomenal artist, one of the best artists in my opinion, Travis Scott.
Oh, come on, man.
What Travis Scott does on albums from an orchestration standpoint, from a putting people in places to succeed standpoint, from a moving the needle standpoint, I think Uzi can do that. That's his next level. If he can start putting people, get more involved with the orchestration of stuff, I mean,
I'll try to close it out by saying, listen, I think IDK, the rapper, shout out IDK from the DMV area. Yeah, I think he said it best on Twitter. He said, Travis Scott, I'm waiting for Travis Scott to save hip hop.
Yeah.
I think Travis Scott has the keys. I don't think it's Uzi. Travis Scott is the one with he's in the driver's seat.
Uzi is more trendy. Uzi's able to sway trends a little more than Travis Scott.
I think Travis is respected at every level by the legends.
Well, Travis can get Drake anytime he wants.
I mean, but it ain't about Drake. I ain't talking about Drake. I'm talking about Travis Scott
No, I know.
can get anybody. And if I want to use this car analogy, Travis Scott to me is in the driver's seat. I believe Uzi's in the car.
Yeah. Who's in the car?
But he might be in the back seat.
Who else is in the car? Okay, that's good. Let's
You
end
right?
it
You
this
like that,
way.
right?
Okay, 5 people can fit in the car.
Okay, let's do it. No, let's start with the back.
Okay, so we can all agree the middle seat is the worst seat, right? Because I grew up the youngest.
Okay, you know who I got in the other door?
Passenger.
Uzi's in the driver's passenger.
Okay.
So he's in the back.
Okay.
On Travis Scott's side.
Okay.
You know who's in the rear passenger?
Okay.
Playboy Cardi.
What?
I'm telling you. You know why I say
thought
that?
Playboy Cardi's in the trunk.
We said seats, man. Don't
Trunk.
disrespect that.
We're not
man.
going to introduce the trunk to
Because
the
if you want to introduce the trunk, then we're gonna have to start putting people under the engine hood, maybe tie them to the top of the car,
in the gasket. But anyway,
and the reason I say Playboy Cardi is not that I love his music fully; it's his influence. I do believe Playboy Cardi is out here influencing a lot of the younger crop.
Okay.
Kent Carson, the Yeats, like his sound is sprinkled throughout the newer sound of hip hop. But anyway, I believe Playboy Cardi's in the car. What do you think? You don't think so?
I can see that. I mean, Playboy Cardi's very influential. 2 more seats. Obviously, Lil Baby's in there, right? Lil Baby's probably in the passenger seat.
Lil Baby gotta be in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Listen, if you guys want to check out our Lil Baby review, go to our
Ratings Game Music.
Ratings Game Music. Check out the official review.
Yeah.
Or we talked about it on the episode. Last episode, man.
So Lil Baby's in the passenger seat.
So the person in the middle is just along for the ride.
Yes. The worst seat. Don Toliver. Wow.
You think
that's
so?
a good one. You know who's in the middle seat?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say
Go
I
ahead.
have to get this out.
Go ahead.
Because
Okay.
I don't love him. Jack Harlow.
I knew you were gonna say that. I swear,
Jack Harlow's
I
in the
knew
middle
you were
seat.
gonna say that
I
guy's
don't
name.
love him because he's playing it too cool.
He's along for the ride.
He's absolutely in the middle seat. So Rod Wave didn't make it.
NBA YoungBoy's in the car.
Oh shoot, NBA
NBA
YoungBoy's
YoungBoy's in the car. He's in the car. We might have to make this a minivan.
NBA YoungBoy is going to shoot the car. That's what he's doing.
Come on, man. Yeah, when he knows it, when he realizes he's not in the car, shots
Think
fired.
about how many people that did not make the car, though. I mean, Megan Thee Stallion didn't make the car.
She's not in the
Lil
car.
Durk didn't make the car.
He's not over 30. I'm sorry, he's not under
He just
30.
turned 30. He literally just turned 30.
Actually, Travis Scott might be over 30. I don't think this
So gotta
applies.
get
then.
his ass out the car then. Then throw NBA YoungBoy. NBA YoungBoy, Jack Harlow has to be in that car.
Who's driving?
Ooh, Lil Baby. Lil Baby 30.
I don't think so.
Gunna's not in the car.
Gunna's not in the car.
Young Thug, but they're 30. And they're 30 and in jail.
Yo, that's
So
true. Oh my God.
Rod Wave is not in the car.
Yo, can we make this a bus?
Kodak Black's
Yo,
not in the
let's
car.
make it a short school bus.
This is hard. Nav's not. Yeah, Nav's
Nav's not in the
definitely
car. Stop it. Respectfully.
Nav is Ubering.
Nav is Uber.
I like Don Toliver though. I like
love
that
Don
because Don
Toliver.
Toliver is moving the needle.
Yo, man, I don't know. I don't like this car. I don't like this car. But it challenges us because
It's a great
if
car.
there's only these 5 seats, would you say Lil Baby's driving?
I have to say, Lil Baby's driving, man. Lil Baby is is respected.
Okay.
The Game said he's a top 10 rapper of all. The Game is not a foolish dude. Like the Game is actually very articulate. Like
You said the game is not a what?
foolish dude. Like
You mean when it
he's
comes to his
speaking?
rap
I'm
takes?
talking about speaking.
I don't know, bro.
Lil
This is
Baby's
actually difficult.
I didn't realize it's this difficult.
Yo, can somebody fit in the
Takeoff's
glove?
not
Who
in the
fits in
car?
the glove compartment?
Lil Bow Wow.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Let's keep it moving though,
So
man.
next topic is legacy. So we want to talk about Kanye, but we want to talk about, we don't want to directly talk about Kanye because everybody has had a take on, especially this week, right? I've seen Kanye talk to like, why is he talking to Chris Cuomo? Like, why did that even happen? But Kanye's talked to CNN, talked to Drink Champs,
Tucker Carlson.
Why is he talking to Tucker Carlson? He's talked to anybody that would take him.
Yep.
Like, let's find a way to have a productive convo about
Let's do it. Let's
Kanye.
do it. Let's do it.
So I said, yo, legacy. How many people in the past has messed up their legacy by something they've done? It can be maybe dropped an album when they're pretty much done, like no longer great. It can be something they said. It can be something they illegally did.
Okay.
You know, who has messed up their legacy?
Mm.
And obviously Kanye is one of the first people
You know,
to think of.
I got a name, and you guys may or may not agree with this name. Kid Cudi sabotaged his career.
Ooh.
I'm not saying that.
Sabotage?
Sometimes you can unintentionally sabotage, though. Like, I don't mean he like did something intentionally to, to halt his career or stunt the trajectory or anything like that. If we being real and you want to talk about inspirations, you want to talk about someone who shaped the sound of a generation, I believe, and I think most people at this point believe Kid Cudi is at that forefront. I mean, you want to talk about a Kid Named Cudi mixtape, which I know you love. I love that. Huge marker in like this whole melodic, vulnerable wave of music. Then you go to Man on the Moon, right? There was a point in Kid Cudi's career where I believe he just got really depressed and he really took himself out of music. He no longer loved the craft. And the only reason I know that is because I watched his documentary, which great story if you guys want to check that out, man. He was supposed to be bigger. And that's crazy to even say that because people put respect on his name as you should. But there's something about Kid Cudi that is unsettling for me. And I don't know if he did it to himself.
Sabotaging.
He and Ye's relationship has been strained for a while, And so musically, he went in a different direction, like after his first 2 or 3 projects. And like I said, man, I think the drugs and the depression kind of got to him. So, yeah.
Anytime people talk about Kid Cudi, they just talk about how much they love him. Like, he's just such a lovable person. People like the idea of Kid Cudi more than they like his music. But that's okay. I wouldn't put Kid Cudi on there because I think he's overachieved.
Really?
In a sense. Kid Cudi right now, he's dropping solid albums, but I never thought he was a great album maker. I think people just love Kid Cudi.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up a name. Be a hot take.
Uh-oh.
Eminem. I felt like if Eminem decided to retire after Recovery or Relapse, whatever that stupid album was.
Sheesh. I think it was Recovery. People hated Recovery.
Yeah. If he decided to retire. You see what happens
when people trying to recover?
Yeah.
You clown them. There's people going through things and he's telling y'all, I'm trying to recover. And they're like, yo, get out of here with that shit. We want the toxic shit.
If Eminem decided to retire after that, which we're talking about, I think Relapse and Recovery is like 2009, 2010. Because Jay-Z's doing that. Jay-Z's not really dropping albums like that. He's getting on people's featuring on songs and stuff, but Eminem is still dropping albums. And I just feel like the more he drops albums, the more I'm like, yo, is he that good? Kind of a shell of himself.
There's a such thing as hurting your legacy.
He should have. I personally
sometimes you can be around for too long.
He was around too much.
Yeah, I think Nicki is sabotaging her reputation. Not necessarily her music. Like, I think when she drops decent albums, it's her. Like, you know what I mean? It's her.
Nicki's a good one. Also.
Yeah, it is.
Nicki always knows how to create that one hit to make you like her. Like this Super Freaky joint.
Yeah.
That's Nicki's biggest hit in like a while. And like to me, she always can do that. She just knows how to do that one hit. You'd be like, okay, I like Nicki again. But like Nicki goes through lows. She's been attacking Lotto.
Everybody.
She attacked
Cardi, Megan, like everybody at this point. Yeah. Using an analogy, she to me is like the equivalent of a bank robber, somebody sticking up a bank. She's sticking people out. She's just like, she won't let people leave. She refuses to let people leave peacefully until she gets her demand.
We've talked about things that you said that help sabotage you, you not passing the torch.
Yep.
You may be retiring early. I think another one is who you decide to click up with. And I think Nicki Minaj many times almost destroyed her legacy by like clicking up. She clicked up with Tekashi. I wouldn't have did that.
Yo, so Nicki should have took the Drake route and just embraced every person, every young person coming up that reveres her and just put your arm around them. Just give them a verse. Like, just give them a verse. It don't even got to be the best verse you ever threw out. They want to praise you.
But you know why Nicki is untouchable? Because Nicki, I think, is pop. Like, she's a pop artist to me.
Of course.
Borderline hip hop. She's hip hop when she features on people's songs. But like Nicki's goal is to get trending. She don't care how she does it. She's like, yo, I want to be talked about. So she achieves that. And from a music standpoint, when she wants to drop her solo stuff, a lot of it's pop.
Of course.
So I feel like pop artists are not untouchable. Like pop artists can do whatever they want. Justin Bieber right now can click up with, Justin Bieber can make a song with Tekashi and nobody would care.
Yeah.
Like pop artists are untouchable.
That's just because their brands are in two separate lanes. So it really doesn't matter.
So isn't hip hop? Hip hop just hits all the beatings, right? Legacies get tarnished. Record sales are made public.
I talk about that all the time. Like, I wouldn't call this sabotaging, but somebody who has defied the odds of time.
That's what I was gonna say.
Nas.
The opposite.
Nas. He was legendary even before this whole King's disease run, everything he's doing with Hit Boy. He was legendary. There's a phrase where they say, you can be the hero. Like, if you're the hero long enough, you'll eventually become the villain. Right? So like when you're when you're on top too long and you last too long, you'll eventually be looked at and you'll start to be criticized. I think there was a point where Nas started to get criticized. Everyone started magically talking about Nas picks horrible beats. He doesn't rap over good beats. Remember that?
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what he did? He got with one of the best beat makers.
Yeah.
And everybody mysteriously went in their corners and they stopped talking. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Nas has been able to win over multiple generations. And I didn't see that coming. A couple other people. I mean, Gilly the Kid. For the people that don't know where Gilly came from, who is Gilly? Gilly was accused. The only reason I knew his name was because he was accused of writing Lil Wayne's rhymes. He said he wrote Lil Wayne's rhymes.
There you go.
Lil Wayne and all the people were like, man, shut up, man. What are you talking about? I didn't write no rhymes. For him to pretty much carve out this career, I know it's not quite music, but he is now a legendary figure from a podcast standpoint from what he's been able to do. Same thing, Joe Budden. Joe Budden, I love Joe Budden. I love Joe Budden.
Speaking of sabotaging,
he goes back and forth.
Why didn't we bring him up? He should have been number one.
He goes back and forth.
I'm talking about this musically.
Joe Budden was looked at as, oh man, Joe Budden's a bust. He's a one-hit wonder, blah, blah, blah. What he was able to do with the podcasting world was great.
Legendary. Joe Budden will be remembered more.
What school are you going to?
Sir, I don't go to school anymore. Or you know what? Maybe I'll enroll in the Donda Academy.
You sure?
We didn't even get into Kanye, and I think that's a good thing.
I think we forgot. That's good.
To be honest with you, I'm just waiting for everything to smooth over to actually know how to feel. Yeah. That's kind of where I am with Kanye or Ye.
I'm going to end it like this, like from a Kanye standpoint. Somebody put it in the best term ever. Being a Kanye West fan is like being in an abusive relationship. They were like, you love him. Where he started, how he got his start. If you watch that documentary, there was moments I was like about to tear up.
Powerful.
How great his come up story is. I love Kanye West, but he does so much bad stuff and it hurts more because you love the person.
But then
that's an abusive relationship.
But not only do you love them, abuse is both, or it can go either way. It can be emotional abuse or physical abuse. Obviously, Kanye's not physically hitting anybody. So this is emotional abuse. The reason why it hurts so much for most people is you see the potential.
It hurts.
You're like, man, but like he could do so much more, and so that's part of it too.
And that's why I actually don't choose to talk about him like that, because I feel like he's really in pain, like mental health. I lost my mom. So I know how important that is when you lose a huge figure like that in your life.
Yep.
And I don't think he ever got to like pure happiness since then. So like it hurts to see him like this. And so, I just hope people stop putting a microphone in his face.
You trying to silence him?
Yeah, he has to be silenced.
Hey, look,
I don't like to say that.
I'm gonna be real with you,
but like, let him figure things out for a little bit.
Listen, can we all agree on this? J. Cole's False Prophets has aged like the best wine ever created on the planet Earth. Made from the most exquisite grapes. Forget. We've had a balanced show.
This is great.
As always, like we always say, if you're watching this, hit that subscribe button, man. I think our channel is almost at 500 subscribers, so get us there. Wow.
Obviously, thank you for the support. This has always been fun.
Listen, as always, if you are giving advice, just make sure it's ill.
Yes, sir.